Mae Govannen, my Elven brothers and sisters. Today we're going to do another edition of Elven Musings, the little thoughts that I have each day that might have some importance to you as they do to me. This one is about finding balance and harmony in a very chaotic world. And the theme of it, along with that, is the inner calling, answering the inner elven calling. For those of you that don't know what the inner calling means, it means that within each one of us, there is a task, a goal, something that our soul is calling out to before we were ever born. An urge, some guidance that's calling us to a task or a quest or some lifestyle or an answer to something deep within ourselves. Unfortunately, most people will spend lifetime after lifetime never answering that call. And for each person it's different. For me, I'm basically talking about for myself, answering that inner elven calling, to be willing to be myself in spite of what the rest of the world may choose to believe in. All right, and as I like to say sometimes, for most humans on this world, they are within their own self-made prison. But the beauty of it is that you have the key to your own prison cell. You can choose your time of freedom whenever you want to and release yourself and live the life you were meant to live. This video was inspired by a wonderful little book called In Search of Balance, Discovering Harmony in a Changing World by John Robbins and Anne Motif. All right, they wrote this quite some years ago, I believe back in the 1990s. They both have led very spiritual lives, and they found each other and found their own inner calling to collaborate and write this little book that's just a whole series of little tiny chapters on different ways to find balance in this world. And today we're going to talk about, like I said, their little passage on the inner calling. So I'm going to read from their book, modify just a wee bit for the elven perspective here. All right, the inner calling. Just as the salmon must pursue its course upstream, drawn by some irresistible magnet toward its destiny, so does each elven being follow an inner calling. This inner calling speaks to us through our desires, our feelings, our intuitions, and our instincts. Just as a young elven child with a destiny to be a musician feels a powerful urge to play a certain instrument, so it is that those experiences that cause us to feel more alive and most conscious are the very experiences that, when we listen to them, will lead us toward our elven destiny. We are being pulled forward by our own potential. Only by living in accord with our real elven desires can we become ourselves. Any false sense of security or duty only distracts us from the possibility and pleasure of discovering our true elven nature or true vocation. All right, so remember, you have the key to your own prison. You can answer that inner calling wherever it may take you. The rest of the world, and I speak from experience, the rest of the world will eventually catch up. And even when they don't, it's okay, because you're living the life that you were meant to live, that you chose to come into this world to do so. All right, well, hang on a little bit here. We're going to have another short video attached to this one by our friends at the YouTube channel Sacred Science. They have been wonderful to donate their graphics and videos to us as part of our lessons. And the little video that is attached is about the parable of freedom. And I went ahead and had this be part of this main video because we have the freedom to answer that inner calling. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it helps you learn to answer your own inner elven calling. All right, everybody have a most blessed and gentle elven day. Namarie.
The Parable of Freedom. A man comes to a master to ask how much man is independent and free. Is he totally free, or is there a limitation? Is there something like fate, kismet, destiny, a God who makes a limitation beyond which you cannot be free? The mystic answered in his own way, not logically, but existentially. He said, "Stand up." The man must have felt this was a stupid kind of answer. He said, "I am asking a simple question and he's asking me to stand?" But then he followed with, "Well, let us see what happens." So he stands, and the mystic said, "Now, raise one of your legs up." The man, by this time, must have been thinking he'd come to a madman. What has this to do with freedom, independence? But now that he has come, and there must be a crowd of disciples, and the mystic was so respected, not to follow him would be disrespectful, and there was no harm in it. And so he lifts one of his legs from the earth. So one foot was in the air, and he was standing on one foot. And then the master said, "That is perfectly good. Just one more thing now. Take the other foot up also." "That is impossible," the man said. "You are asking something impossible. I have taken my right foot up. Now I cannot take my left foot up too." The master responded, "But if you were free, in the beginning, you could have taken the left foot up. There was no binding order. You were completely free to choose whether to take the left foot up or the right foot up. I had not said anything about it. You just decided. You took the right foot up. In your very decision, you made it impossible for the left foot to be lifted. Don't bother about fate, kismet, God. Just be simple in your life."